The other building we've talked about with you before in the past is your home on the Sunshine Coast.
Ah, yeah. That's our Robin Boyd Award, yeah. And that's been put in this year for the ageing, for the enduring architecture thing too.
Could you tell us a bit about that? Because that was a pretty that was a pretty influential building at the time, as I recall.
Yes, it was.
You're getting back into the time of my memory now.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's right.
Well, tell us a bit more about the Sunshine Coast house. And
Okay.
How you came to design it the way you did.
I tell you what, there is an architect here in Brisbane called Bob Collin, Callin.
I've met Bob, yeah.
He's the unsung hero of domestic architecture. He's self-effacing bloke, not interested in big publicity. Probably built houses and extended them for every doctor in Brisbane, but he seemed to be able to handle the doctors very well, which is more than some people can. And that's a sweeping statement, isn't it? Yes, and we sometimes stay with him, and we were staying in the house next to him just at Christmas time, and we walked along and we found this block of land, and it was just exactly where we'd liked it. And within a few weeks we'd bought it for $50,000. Don't get them for that now, but and we started that started designing it in 1975. And one of my favourite builders, who's built about 20 houses for me, a fellow called Dennis Trethewey, built the house. But it was, and we're kind of apart from being a big family, we're pretty gregarious, and it was just a very welcoming house. And have you been to see Robin Boyd's house in Melbourne? That was his house.
Yes.
That and that with the thing over there.
The stretch
I only saw it when I went to the convention last year for the first time, but I didn't know. But that's what we chose to do too: is put some bedrooms up there, living down there, and usable space in the middle. And we were high enough to see over the Hind Dune Lake, and there was an old bridge there we could walk across, which has now been banned by the government, but. So it's no longer used as a access to the beach. There's a story with that too. But anyway, this lovely building. It's like them all. Once it was in our heads, kind of my wife and my mother. My mother said I lived in the clouds, and my wife says I'm a dreamer, and I am, and love it. But once it gets into your system, once it gets into your house, you just can't stop yourself. And we had it built, by 1960. But when you see the photography of it, to explain it, we had a really wide entrance with 4 doors that opened back, lattice doors, and there were rails in there for towels and beach things and all that paraphernalia, and then a quite embarrassing bathroom that we built ourselves. It had a great big wall out into its own courtyard, and we have lots of Catholic friends as well as Protestants, but we could always tell when someone was Catholic they'd get so embarrassed about those glass walls looking out into a we said, "Come on, you lot."
And the rolled roofs on that house, really?
No, that's not a rolled roof. It's a really straightforward
roof. Yeah, of course.
Raft. It was before we invented Rytec.
Yeah.
Rytec is the curved roof and the flat roof as well. Yeah.
Sorry.
But that was... So there it was, some bedrooms upstairs and just a toilet up there. And then all that looking out over the sea. And then down below there was this wonderful room, which was... I learned something from that house too. Because we had a tight budget, it was only the big long room with a kitchen and dining and living and fireplace and all that, and opening out onto the central deck and also onto its own deck out. And then downstairs, but no internal connection, was then a dormitory, which took up the whole length of underneath the kitchen, which is, with our lot, was quite necessary. And well, as I say, the photographs explain it very well.